is just, is there a way for students to submit assignments confidentially so the class does not see them, only the teacher?
Yes, actually, yeah, you are the only person who sees them. That's the
Okay.
default.
I thought, I've been co-teacher on some Google Classrooms, and I was under the impression that, because I got an email every time a student submitted an assignment, that everybody could just go in and see the assignment.
No, they would have to actually share, or the teacher would have to actually do the sharing.
Okay.
But no, if you have it turned off, then I mean that's just the default. You have to go through a bit of a rigmarole actually to share all that with all the kids. So you are the only person. You are the only person who can see it.
Okay.
Nice. Robert
All right.
Gerson bringing the hat. Nice. I love it. This is great. Okay, so Karen, you have other questions about that?
No, that's my only question for now.
Okay.
I just want to listen a bit. Maybe other things will come to me, and if they do, I can just type a comment, right?
Yes, that's exactly what you do.
More people add, I can, type comments, type questions.
Okay, that's perfect. That would be great. We'd appreciate that. Yeah, and so as always, comment box. I don't even, Bertha and Francie, are you the hosts today?
I can't hear you.
I had my mic muted. I just closed that document. I'm doing notes today.
You're doing notes today.
We
Okay.
have Cecily and Allison on today.
You know what? Since you're doing notes, I'm going to ask a big ask of you. We're going to try something different today, okay?
All right.
Because I'm all about trying something different.
Sure.
When you're taking notes, I'm trying to say, it won't. Can you write down, like, if something comes up, like if someone is going to give a tutorial about something, if you could write down the time, like, just from your watch, write down the time that we start that conversation, so that later on I can put tags in the videos. I'm still working with the videos.
Okay, so you want time tags for?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to, it's gonna look different, but it'll be fine. I'll figure it out. We'll be good. We will be good.
And Laurie, it's Francie. Only if there are tutorials or any comments?
Yeah, I mean, anything that is, like when there's a change in the conversation sort of thing. Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
And I'm going to keep an eye on the chat and plug in answers when I can.
Okay. Okay. I have no idea. I'm going to look at and I'm sorry to the two teachers who are in here, but we actually have this like whole document of who's hosting. So I'm just going to check it real quick. And we're early. Okay. What is today? What day is it? Okay, it's Darcy and Cicely and Bertha. Okay. It's probably good that I'm never the host because I talk too much anyway. Everyone smiles politely. Yeah, you do. Can you guys see my sign?
Always relevant.
Can you see my sign up there? Lighting is a little bit of a problem today.
Your sign is trending on Twitter.
Yeah, I know. I was laughing about that. I was like, wow. I actually had a friend of mine say, wow, I think I need one of those signs. I was like, yeah, might be a good idea. Hi, Chris. We're the early crowd. I should sit up a little more.
Rachel Porzig reading stories on Nystrom Elementary's Facebook page is also trending.
Oh, cool. Is she doing that right now?
She does it every day. So you can just go into Facebook, the Nystrom Elementary Facebook page, and she's reading stories, and it's so soothing. I just watch her read. It makes me happy. Sometimes I just watch her read on mute, and it makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's better than doing what I did this morning, which was scream at the radio because of, stupidity. I went, just so you can go out walking. I went on one run and a walk yesterday, and today I went on a walk at 7 a.m. with my friends. We social distanced. So we had to kind of holler at each other. And then we went to Starbucks where we also social distanced. So it's doable, people. You can still see your friends. Oh, I should get some music on.
Hey, I wanted to let people know that my son did the Mo Willems thing yesterday, and he loved it. So that's definitely something that we might want to think about for kids and art.
Yeah, definitely. I do have someone working on some resources for that, so I'm going to ask her to add that. But also, there's someone, I don't know if you're on Instagram, but there's another artist who's doing it on Instagram as well. So that's like a secondary thing. And her name, I will look it up. She's doing this, and she puts it on she does it on her story, but then she saves them. So if you go to her profile, you're able to see it. I believe her name is Wendy Mack. She's amazing. Let me just look up her Insta.
Yeah, and the one
Wendy Mack, Wendy Mack, one word. WENDYMAC on Instagram.
And the ones for Mo Willems are being saved on the Kennedy Center website.
Yeah, they are, which is great. There's a lot and you can also, if you want, you can also watch full operas on something or what it was. But yeah, sadly, they did not put subtitles. They didn't put subtitles. So I'm a little bummed out about that. But the music is beautiful.
So I put a note out there. I have got a couple questions today, but I can wait until we begin. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Just to let everyone know, I am recording. We've already started the recording because we already had a question earlier today. So I went ahead and started that. If you do not want to be on at all, you need to go ahead and turn off your camera. And you're going to be putting any of your questions in the comments. Let's see. Darcy, I believe are you the, I think you're the host today.
I'm hypothetically the host, but I think we've all been sharing that role as questions arise that we have expertise in. And we're fortunate to have many, many people with lots of expertise as I'm looking through the people.
Yeah.
Which I'm very appreciative of.
I think I'm supposed to monitor the chat today.
Yes.
The chat room or yeah, I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing
the
today.
chat. Hi, Cicely.
That means we might, that means we might have some singing.
Maybe.
I know, I was like, you know what? I need to put my music on. I should go get
my son might jump in.
That'd be cool.
Okay, we have something.
Morning, Alexandra.
Allison and I are just going to have a remote plan. We haven't decided yet when, simply because we are so overwhelmed with other tasks, but we are planning on having it, just not tomorrow. We'll probably update you next week.
Can you guys hear the music?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't hear the music yet.
Oh, Class Dojo invite. So we've got a question about Class Dojo invites. Yeah, do we have any experts on Class Dojo?
I'm not an expert on troubleshooting it for sure.
I'm trying to think. Robert, did you ask the parents to maybe look in their spam folder? That might be one thing. I'm assuming that you're sending to your parents because you teach elementary and your students don't have email. Is that correct? Oh, you sent to cell phones. Oh, ooh. Okay, then I would say the next step would be trying to send it to parent emails if you have those, and that they should be checking in. I would say it's probably a good idea if they go ahead and check their spam folders or look for it in their spam folders if they don't get it. You know what, Alexander? So Alexander has a question about clarifying about, if you had perfect attendance on Friday and everyone got their stuff, do you have to go in on Thursday? And I would say, I'm not sure about that. And that's something that you would have to ask someone from UTR. Okay, so Robert, are you saying you don't have their email addresses? So maybe, I don't know, can you send a text to cell phones? Or send a text and ask them, set up a Google form or just ask them to email you their email addresses.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that.
Yeah.
That may be the better way to go.
Yeah, I would say you need to have, and I'm saying this because my son finally got his his assignments from his teachers today. And all of them sent a Google form, which I thought was really smart. And the Google form was the same for every teacher, fine. But it was basically a question, a couple questions. What's the best way to reach you by phone or text? Also, what's the best email address for you? And what's in your case, you're not going to have this, but for high school kids, it's, what's the best way for us to reach out to your parent?
Okay.
Yeah, and they basically are saying you get 5 points for this, you turn it in, sort of thing. Yeah, so I was like, that's good. So that I think is a really good idea, and that's not something I thought about, but that's a really good idea. And if you do it by Google Form, then you have everything beautifully on one sheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to get myself organized.
Google Forms are great.
That's another thing I'll have to learn.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love it. I'm going to be putting all my Google Forms stuff up. I've done a lot of presentations on it, so I'll be putting all of those up.
And beyond that, I have, 2 questions. One is directly to you, Lori.
Oh, okay, goody.
What is your hoodie today?
Oh, what's on my head? I'm Stitch.
Okay.
Yeah, your hat is marvelous, Robert.
It's great. It's really great. I love the headgear. It's a good thing.
The other one was on tab resizing. I emailed Allison yesterday, but I didn't get a response.
Okay.
And that's fine. But I tried doing the tab resizing yesterday, and when I did it like with the keys themselves, but the problem is that once I then tried to reverse it, I lost a bunch of tabs that were up top on of the windows on my screen. I lost like half of them. Is there any way to get them back?
This was when you did tab resize and.
Yeah, I hit Control Shift.
Oh, I'm going to be honest with you. I never use I just click using tab resize when I use tab resize.
You click?
Yeah, I don't use the whatever keyboard shortcut.
Okay.
Yeah, I just click on it. That's all.
Yeah, I didn't see the icon until after that. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So no one else out there knows?
I don't think so. Can you email me separately and I'll take a look at it?
Dwayne
Okay.
did put in a note that, you know, when you lose tabs, that you can press Control-Shift-T, and that does bring back closed tabs.
Yep.
You could also click History in the corner, in the corner, the 3 vertical caterpillar dots. If you go to History, it will show all of the recently closed tabs. So for example, I clicked on mine now, I have 22 tabs open. If I click that group number, 22 tabs, it will reopen all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's make sure that we go to asking questions on, sorry, Robert, now we've got like a ton of people in here.
No, I that's fine.
Okay.
I wanted to get this in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll mute myself.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. There's a question from Megan. How teachers are supporting guided practice, especially for math? Are there best practices to use on Google Hangouts, screen sharing of a PowerPoint, holding up whiteboards, etc.? I was also thinking about ordering a stylus to write on my screen. Is there one that is compatible with our Lenovo laptops? So let me see who's here who might be able to answer this question. Chris was here. Chris, can you unmute yourself? Is there any way you could at least speak to this question? That would be great. Calling Chris. Oh, Tracy's answering that question for you in the chat, Megan. Okay. So Megan, I just want to be clear. You want to know, like, yeah, thinking about ways to coach students in the moment. Yeah. Any ideas? Okay. Chris, are you able to pop in if you have anything? Oh, sorry, having microphone issues. Okay. So Chris, could you maybe answer in the chat? That would be great.
Again, I'll just add in just doing mini lessons in Flipgrid, pre-recording those. I know that's not the same as guided practice, but that is one way at least that you could give maybe a short mini lesson on one video, on one skill, and then you could attach other resources. Hopefully, let's see. Yeah, Tracy mentioned that you can pre-record a video if you download Screencast-O-Matic. Screencast-O-Matic is perfect if you're going to be sharing work that you're doing on your screen. Let me go ahead and put a link to Screencast-O-Matic in here.
And Screencastify as well. Let me put one in. I'll put it one in for Screencastify.
Oh, I got it. I got it right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Right now, I know Screencastify allows for up to a 5-minute video for free. The other thing about Screencastify, I think this is part of the free, is that you can create a video and then make a GIF from it. So it just runs on a loop. That's if you're into that kind of thing. I'm going to go ahead and, Lucy, I'm going to go ahead and put together this template for a Google form for getting information from families.
Okay, I see Mark has written in.
Okay.
Yes, Megan. Yes, Zern is K through 5.
Any tips and tricks people want to share? Anything that they've learned in the last couple of days that we've been on this fabulous journey?
I want to comment. I think Mark is, Mark can probably chime in on big ideas. So for 6th grade, he already mentioned reviewing 5th grade material. But yes, Chris is typing in about big ideas. And I know that from what I remember in the homework portion, I don't know if they're doing this now, but there were a set number of problems that students could get remote support on.
Very quiet today. Is it the rain? To be able to communicate with families for spam. Oh, Karen. Okay. To do online instruction, I'd like to be able to communicate with families who are Spanish speaking. Do you know of how the district is handling oral translation services during the shutdown? So they're busy right now with taking care of printed materials and making sure that all the online resources also have a Spanish version as well. I don't think there's any plan for oral translation services. I can ask about that, but if I'm wondering, Karen, are you you want to send them a message via voicemail or something, or is it that you would just like to send them a message in Spanish? I guess is what I'm wondering. I'm trying to figure out some ways of what exactly do you want to do in terms of helping our Spanish speakers.
Did I answer with a microphone?
Yeah, you can answer the microphone. That's fine.
Might be faster than typing.
Okay.
Oh, I'm getting my Google Classroom set up, and I want to send out an email to each student, and I also want to alert families that the email is coming, with the code and everything for the Google Classroom. That's what I want to do. That is my short-term objective.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what I do because I work with a lot of families because I also do parent education. And what I've been doing, because oftentimes the translation services aren't able to get me back my stuff fast enough, is that I am using Google Translate.
Okay.
So the site for Google Translate, it's translate.google.com. I'm going to put it in here, translate.google.com. But I have some things I have to say about that. Okay. I realize it's not perfect, but I have used it for presentations to families where I have translated the text that is on, on the slide, and they all tell me that it's fine. They can see what it is. They understand what I'm saying. However, it is really important that you're keeping your language simple, right? Sure. That's the only way that translator is going to work well. The only way that translator is going to work well is if you keep your English as simple as possible. So no fancy words or slang or anything, just keeping it super simple. And when I've done that, then the translation works fine. Let's just say the translation works well enough, or so I've been told.
Okay, how
Okay.
about for phone call? Am I gonna have to make a fool of myself reading a Spanish translated
So is
script?
there any way that you can reach your families that isn't a phone call?
Well, yeah, I can send email. I can
Okay,
do that.
so
I hope for the best. I just think that phone communication is probably going to be more direct because in many cases people don't even check their email unless they're
sure.
expecting something.
I'm hoping that they know that they're going to be checking emails now more than usual. But
Okay.
I mean, not counting on that. I would say, you know, if there's any way that you can say, if you're going to send out a message or call, I would say just very simply, please check your email in
Yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah.
I think that that's going to be the best way to do it.
Okay, so in the short run, it sounds like they're really not oral translation services for just what I want to do. So I have to improvise a bit.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Workaround, right? We're all about making it work, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm familiar already with a Spanish translation on Google and I do use it. So I could go back to that and try to work out something.
And it just gets better. That's my understanding. It just gets better.
Yeah.
Hey, Cicely, are there any questions that need to be covered on the chat that got missed? A lot of math here. A lot of math. We got math people here too. That's awesome.
Dwayne Warren did bring up that Remind is a good option for translation.
Great.
And yeah.
Dojo too, looks like.
Dojo. I think a lot of the questions got answered by the math department. And then the other ones I think are already covered. So I think we're good for now.
Angela, I would send in a help desk ticket.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I have another question. It seems like should I type it or is asking it this way okay?
Go ahead and ask it this way this time, but then we got to switch back to the other way.
Okay.
Just in case.
Yeah, I keep hearing about Remind, and what is that? It sounds like, I know it's an email thing, but what does it do?
It's actually, it's not just email, but it's also texting. And what it does is it allows you to send a message to either your whole class or a group of kids or a group of parents. And the great thing about it is that you don't have to collect all of that and put that in, okay? That they actually using a code, just like with Google Classroom, they just go ahead and opt in. So you don't have to collect all that information. You also don't have to like see, you don't see their email addresses, you don't see their cell phone numbers.
Okay.
So in a lot of ways it for a lot of people it feels more secure.
Okay.
Yeah. And I used to use Remind a lot before and then they started charging. So that's something to check in on. And I'm going to say again the same thing that I say, which is be careful of these groups, these companies that are offering things for free because they're trying to get you interested in their product and may start charging after all this is said and done. So just be wary of that.
Wolves in sheep's clothing.
That's right, exactly. Yeah. Remind is still free. Great. Okay. I'm sure it has to do with limits. I was trying to use it with very large groups of people, and then they were trying to charge me. So I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Okay. Silka Taylor has a question. I have a question about math. My students did not take their math volume 2 book home. Can they write in their book online? If I write in my copy online to demo, can it later be erased? I expect I would do this over Google Meet. It's all new to me. Math people, you have any answers here? Oh, I don't think they can write on the online books. Okay. Oh, Lucy, you're asking me if I have an opinion between Google Hangouts and Zoom. I'm really happy with Google Hangouts. We have had some issues where you can't stop the Google Hangout, so kids are saving the link and going back in and then having conversations on their own. There is, with Zoom, I think there's a way that you can turn that off so that kids can't get back in after. But Zoom, again, is one of those companies that's offering stuff for free now, and probably won't be offering those same things when all this is said and done. So if you can make Google Hangouts work, I would. There are also, I would also say having Google Hangouts with small groups of students as opposed to the whole class might be a better possibility. That makes sense. Oh, good luck, Elizabeth. You got this. You're going to set that up for your students. I believe that Zoom also, it might make you, I don't know if it asks you to download something, but it must not if students are using it. So I guess it's working. Google Hangouts hasn't always worked really well for people because, like I said, the whole idea that students can go back into that same Hangout, it stays open, and then they were going in and having their own little Hangout parties. Yeah, Dwayne, I agree. Just so you all know who are using Hangouts or have tried to use Hangouts, I have asked our CTO to put in a ticket to Google because it had to come from an administrator asking them to make that a possibility that they could actually close the Hangout. Okay, thank you, Lucy. Right, you have to download something the first time that you use Zoom. That's been my experience in the past. Google Hangout is easy to set up. We do have, I believe we have information on the website about that. And if we don't, we will soon. Francie wants to know if I want to mention Edmodo. Sure. I'm still do not roll your eyes. I stopped using Edmodo a while ago because there were privacy issues. I'm sure they have fixed those. I'm sure they have. But I just never went back. So I can't really speak to Edmodo because I don't use it anymore. If Ted were here, Ted Dunn, I think, still uses Edmodo. But I don't, so I can't really speak to it. It's been a while. It is something you can use, though. It's a possibility. Any quick tips anyone wants to share, or anything you want to see and haven't seen yet? Specific questions? Nancy, do you want to talk about Edmodo, maybe? Unmute yourself and talk a little bit about Edmodo. That would be great.
Hi, first I want to tell Elizabeth, we need to be clear that it's Google Hangouts Meet that you are using, not Hangouts, which is the little chat like the
Right.
TPLs use. The little chat, Google Hangouts is not available for students. It's the Google Hangout Meet like we're using right now. Edmodo's been around for 20 years. It's that old chestnut, tried and true. It's already rostered for your classes. It's free for us, always in Clever. And you just click on it, you'll see your classes, and your kids can have conversations, and you can put work there. So if everything is way too intimidating for you and you just want something simple, it's a nice place to start. That is all.
Darcy, there's a question about Flipgrid. You want to take it? From Dwayne.
Sure, let me take a look. Okay, so students are not familiar with it. Oh, it's very easy to roll out, but my tip for you is to start out in moderator mode. So when you're setting up your particular topic for the class, make sure that you select that moderator mode. And in the slideshow that I linked to the teacher slide book, it shows you step by step what recommendations I have in terms of that setup. And then you need to communicate to your students that they are not going to see the videos that their peers post until you see the videos and you have approved them. So that way, most of your kids will keep this very straightforward. You're still going to get a little bit of silly, and that's what we want. We want, a little bit of silly, but we want it mostly on topic, because otherwise you're going to end up with 100 videos and 75 of them are going to be, kids saying, hey, what's up? Just because it's a new tool and it's like a new toy that they're going to want to play with. So to make it easy for you, just make sure to select that you're going to moderate the videos. Tell your students that you will be the first one watching the videos, and if you feel they're appropriate, then you will be posting it, and their peers will be able to see it. And also, just to honor that some kids, might be shy about this process, ask some of the kids, if they prefer that you not post their videos at all. Some kids might not, want to respond just because they're just shy, and, they won't want other people to see them, online in their pajamas or with silly headgear or something. So just honor, if kids prefer not to be seen, that's great. You just tell them that only you're going to view the videos. But it's super easy. It's one of the easiest tools that I can think of to use. Yeah, and kids literally just need your class code. And once they're in that way, it's simple. Like I said, everything is in that teacher slide book that's listed on the eLearning website. If you click on teachers in elementary, I believe it's the first link. If it's helpful for you, I can also demo it. Yes, Megan mentioned too that another cool feature, yes, if kids want to block out their face, they can put it in Blackboard mode. A lot of kids, though, like to put the stickers and little emojis over their faces. They can do that as well. I think that kids building the confidence to see them online, just like right now, we're getting comfortable, some of us, being seen online. I think that's where we're trending in technology and being ready for the workforce, because remote meetings are becoming the norm. So I do think it is important to scaffold kids' emotional confidence of seeing themselves and hearing themselves. So in these circumstances, yes, we really want to scaffold that. Now is not the time to freak out the shy kids. But I think, over time, if you want to build that confidence, you could disable the student's ability to put stickers over their faces.
Also, one thing that I know a high school teacher that I was working with did, it was actually a world language class. So she really did want to see the students' faces because they were practicing that language. So she just made sure that she had it in what do you call it, moderator or moderated mode, so that she was the only, and she told them this, she was the only person to see their recordings. So that helped them a lot in terms of them showing their faces. And the other thing was, she said that was part of the assignment. She had to be able to see their faces. This again is high school, a world language situation where, yeah, you do kind of have to see their faces to see what's going on.
One thing before I forget, one application of Flipgrid that I think would be super useful right now for our lower grade teachers, so kinder through third grade, is having students record themselves reading their favorite passages of whatever book they're into right now. And yes, like as to what Lori said, I think that is a time where it would be really good to see kids' faces because it's a really excellent lesson. And, when we want to read with expression and intonality and just living what's going on with the characters and showing that in how we read aloud, because as we know, just kids being fast and fluent and sounding like robots is not the goal. So Flipgrid is a perfect way to just set up a simple topic. Hey kids, I want to know what you're reading right now. Can you just send me however long video you want to hear of you reading from your favorite book? That's a nice way for you to guide them in skills with their fluency and expression, because after you watch their video, you can comment back on it with some tips. Watch after this, we're going to get a whole bunch of kids that have unleashed their inner actor and actress.
Or inner YouTube star.
Yeah. Oh, some of them have already decided that.
That's right. So Yasmin, you asked, can they record using their Chromebook? Yes, yeah. But I do have to say, the first time that they go on to Flipgrid, this is really important. They need to say yes, because there will be a question that comes up about allowing the microphone and the camera. They need to say yes. If they don't say yes, then they're out. And that's not an easy thing for a kid to fix. So just make sure they need to, this could be something that you could ask the parents to get in on when they first sign up, that the parent is there and they actually help them to choose yes on that one. Oh, Lucy, that's a super good question. Having students record or recording a Google Hangouts meeting, do we have to get additional permission form signed? So I think that has a lot to do, well, one thing is that has a lot to do with the way that you're planning to use it. I do not suggest recording these. If you're going to record them, I would record one where it's just you by yourself in the Google Hangout meeting. And so you're recording it so that students can watch it later and you can ask, questions about it. You can make it an ed puzzle, but I would not do a recording with students in the meeting for sure. Because I'm not really sure if you'd have to get additional permission slips, but it really does have a lot to do with how you're planning to use it. And that's a good question.
I'm answering it.
You got someone to answer that? Okay.
Yes, I answered it because your team of first grade teachers with those kids is one of the most solid teams that I've worked with. And absolutely, those kids are so comfortable online. I would say they're as comfortable as many of our upper grade students. So since you're one-to-one in first grade, absolutely, if you have the chance to get those out on Thursday, I would. All of the teachers are set up with Zearn. They're set up with their phonics programs. They're set up with word study programs. They've got everything.
I have not looked at them yet. Robert was asking if we've looked at the Department of Education resources yet. I haven't, I'll be honest.
No, I have it pinned. I have so many of those sites pinned right now. I just can't make sense of all of them.
Wait, Francie, what do you have to say? Please, that would be great.
I did read them this morning. It was lovely of them to put that together. A lot of the resources are resources that we already are using. There were some others that you could definitely add to your own personal batch of teaching materials. I thought it was lovely of them to make the effort to put it together.
I just shared in the chat with everyone my new favorite hashtag, which is hashtag less is more. Let's not confuse ourselves and our kids and get all caught up in, you know, a million different things when you can just pick a couple and do them well. So please, let's stick with that less is more. And that's kind of something that we're sticking with as well when we put up resources, because those resources are the ones that we can, as a team, support. We're not going to put something up just because it looks good. We're putting up things that have been vetted.
And to add to that, that's probably been one of my biggest lessons as a coach, is to just put on my blinders. Because as Lori said, I mean, some of these tools are so adaptable. I just chose a few tools that I felt were the most flexible and comprehensive across a curriculum to use, and really just kind of try to become an expert in those, because technology is changing so fast. There's no way I can possibly keep up with all of it.
We really appreciate all of you and what you're trying to do, and we really don't want to overwhelm you, because I think that is a huge way to scare people off. So we're trying not to overwhelm you, that's for sure.
Thanks for the laugh, Robert.
Yeah, Silka, definitely check out Zearn. Zearn webinar, math folks, Zearn webinar.
Let's see. Okay, Tracy. I think
I can add to that about the webinars.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So the webinars are going on all week, and I think if you go to like the Zearn website, I'll post the link if somebody else hasn't. I'll post a link to those. But they're doing a lot of just introductory, like seminars on how to get parents their resources, how to get students their resources. I saw one this morning. It was pretty good.
I just included the link for the online distance learning in the chat.
Right. Thanks for doing that.
Thank you, guys. I'm also creating a document for online teacher learning that we'll try to get up hopefully today. I'll check in with you, Lori, about that later.
Okay, that'd be great.
Silka, I believe, had asked, or I know someone had asked earlier about, their students filling in worksheets and, whether or not, I think the My Math workbooks were available, for kids to fill in online. So if, for the teachers that are using Zearn, there are printable pages in there. And hypothetically, if a parent wanted to print those out, you could just have students use their webcam and take a picture of it to their computer and then have the parent email it to you if you wanted. Or you could set up a Flipgrid and just have kids use that video feature to, show their math work page and then explain some of the problems that they did. Or ask questions about ones that they didn't know how to do.
Ooh. Well, they need their clever badge, Darcy.
Yes, yeah, I replied to that. I even recommend copying, making 2 copies of it just because it's paper and it's flimsy. If there's any way to print them on cardstock, that would be really helpful.
Karen, so it's actually called Google Hangout Meet is the name of it. So this is just reminding me that I need to put something up and find the resources for starting a Google Hangout. There, I believe, yeah, I have something. I just need to post it about how you start one. And then what you would do then is you would just send an email invite to that student. You mentioned flashcard. So I'm going to bring up, I know I just said less is more, but I'm going to bring something up. There's something called Quizlet, online Quizlet. So it's Quizlet, where you can actually make flashcards, and students can make flashcards too. Put that in there, Quizlet.com. And that's for flashcards. Oh, thank you, Lucy.
So, Jasmine, the Clever badges, if you have parents' addresses, absolutely. Yes, you can email them because kids don't need that piece of paper. So you could just, take a picture of it, email it or text it to parents, and then parents can just hold up their phone to the computer and Clever will read it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Turn off the music. Robert, I think that's a myth. about if Chrome will close down. But I do agree with Darcy. Things do get real slow. So yeah, I think I've definitely pushed my Chrome to the limit.
Okay, one tab. I'm serious. I was kind of joking. Yes, less is more. But some of these extensions, like the screen resize that Lori told you about, and this one that I use, one tab, save my life, because I don't, bookmarks are things that I like to save. I might reference them later on, but in terms of workflow efficiency, when I want to keep things at my fingertips because I'm going to use them maybe within the next few hours or within the next week, I really like the one tab extension. Basically, it's really easy to use. I put the link in there. Once you install it, whatever page that you're not actively using right in the moment, you would just right click on that page and you get the option. It'll say send to one tab. And it just keeps a collection of all of those one tabs. And it's basically in like a hibernation mode. It's not actively drawing from your computer's memory, but it holds the all of the short-term processing info, like so that as soon as you click on it, it's ready to go. And it keeps everything just collected on one simple page so that, when you want it right at your fingertips, you don't have to search through your bookmarks or anything. It's right there. By the way, I'm going to do a little shout out here to the Lake community family, because I know that Robert Gerson and Ann Daly Mallard and Jasmine Reyes and Alexander Campbell have all, been a part of that team, even though they might not all be together now. Just awesome, just collaboration work.
Darcy, can you say something about Libby?
So the school libraries have Sora, which is free for our schools, paid for by library services, and there are ebooks and audiobooks. Libby is Sora's public library sister. So if Sora is available to all of our students and teachers and staff in Clever. If a student has a public library card, they can click on the little hamburger icon on the top right of Sora. They can put in their nickname. They can add in their public library card number. And then they also would have access to the public library materials. For you as adults to know, if you are using Sora, you only have access to books from TK level through young adult. If you need to read adult literature, that is only available to you through Libby and the public library. And our public libraries are all shut down now. I don't know about Richmond Public, but Contra Costa Library is shut down and not available. Even their little help chats are not available to folks.
Yeah, I'm going to second that because Alameda County also closed. I just went to throw a, return a book, and even the little boxes are closed. So I guess it's kind of a bonus because they're not going to be charging any of us if we go over. So there are no overdue fees right now. But I'm going to shout out to Libby for you adults.
Yes.
I use it constantly. That is basically how I'm getting all my audiobooks and all the books that I'm reading on my Kindle. So I'm a really big fan of Libby, really big fan. So
I second that.
Yeah, it's great. It will save you a ton of money. I have send off music. Oh, Dwayne has send off music for us. Okay. Oh, wow, Dwayne. And it's like 10:52.
Yeah. And Robert has a request for Cicely. So yes.
And this is being recorded. Cicely, are you there? Uh-oh. Where is she?
She's probably brainstorming like her next witty.
I know,
best
right?
solo.
She's here. She's here. She's thinking. She's thinking. Wheels are turning. Oh,
yeah,
that's true. Yeah, you can't renew your expired card online. You're gonna have to, your library card, you're gonna have to go in. Hi, Cherie. Bertha plays handbells.
Hi, Ed. Handbells. Yeah, I mean, we've got tons of musicians in here.
I know, right?
Okay, I'm not ready yet. I did that one tab thing, and it's doing weird things to my computer right now, and it's okay because I'm learning and experimenting. It's all good.
Okay, you and I can chat after this. It shouldn't do any weird things.
We're gonna make it after all. We're gonna make it.
I'm imagining you jumping up and like literally cheering with your arms up in the air.
Or taking your hat and throwing it, right? Isn't that yeah, right? For those of us who are old enough to remember Mary Tyler Moore.
I'm shocked my son hasn't like ran in here yet and tried to sing with me, but I think he's eating breakfast now. We have it's okay. We're getting there. We're getting to routines. We're getting there.
Oh, Robert's using his lighter. Love it. That's our send off music.
Was that Dwayne's request?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dwayne's playing it.
Awesome.
Dance party, people.
Are we all gonna woo?
I'm going to give another shout out because I know several folks from the Coronado community have been in today too. So Lake and Coronado, yay! Not to exclude anybody else.
I have to give a shout out to any of the secondary people who've popped in here because we have had less secondary people come in. So shout out to all the secondary people. Fun fact, Bobby Farron just turned either 60 or 65.
Wow.
Like a week ago.
So he really can't go anywhere.
Yeah, he's got to be outside right now. Maybe this should be our theme song. This thing is going to get so fancy. We're going to have like coming in music and leaving music.
We're going to have a lot of time to work on that.
I know, right? Any last questions? I see a lot of comments. Let me see if we just got comments or what's going on.
Wow. I'm scrolling through all the chat stuff.
I know. You know what's really great is that it gets saved also.
Thank goodness.
I have to go through the videos today. So just to let everyone know who's on here, I actually I decided it's a lot harder to go and cut all that video down. So instead, I'm going to make like a list and say, if you want to hear about Google Classroom, then you could go to this timestamp.
Timestamp, yeah.
Yeah, and Bertha kind of helped me out today because when she was taking notes, she was putting the actual time on there, but I'll figure all that out.
Thank goodness I figured out I could copy and paste into the doc.
Oh, from the chat?
Yes.
Sweet. That's so cool. Listen to what I sing. In your life, expect some problem. When you worry, you make me trouble. I like this dance party. Go, Chris. Bye, Mark. Come on, Darcy. Throw it down a little bit.
I'm not gonna hum. My humming is even off.
We're all stuck in our houses anyway. Oh, Dwayne is giving us a 40-second countdown. Nice.
By the way, this is an indication of what an outstanding teacher he is, and I can attest to that.
Yeah. Go on, Dwayne, with your bad self. All right, I'm gonna be extra, and I'm gonna end the recording right at the end of the song. Woo!